Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I am Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my videos on climatology. So in this session on climatology, we are going to talk about the nature of tropical cyclone, its nomenclature, how it has been named, why different cyclones are named differently. So all these discussions are going to happen in today's session. But before we go ahead, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and please share the videos with others as well.
So in the last lecture, we learnt about the cyclone formation, that is tropical cyclone formation. Now let's understand its hazardous side as well and how the names are kept. That is also important, the naming of tropical cyclone. So the first question that we need to answer here is, what are the causes of disaster during the cyclone? So this is the first thing. So remember, why it is important to understand? Because of disaster management. Remember that. So floods, winds and storm surge, these are the three important risks that we say associated with cyclonic storms, where they can become hazardous. So they have a potential to actually harm us as human beings, right? So that's why it is important, as floods and winds and storm surge are the three components of this tropical cyclone which have actually threat. So it means it is risky for human beings. That's we need to understand. So what happens? Very heavy rains causing floods happen. So rainfall associated with a storm vary from storm to storm, that we know. So not every storm has same intensity. So record rainfall in a cyclonic storm has been as low as a trace to a high as 250 centimeters in just few hours. So this is what we understand by storm surge with heavy flooding. So it has been found that intensity of rainfall is about 85 centimeters per day within radius of 50 kilometers. Now this is important, that if the radius of this cyclonic storm is 50 kilometers, then the average what you see here is 85 centimeters per day within this radius, but about 35 centimeters per day between 50 to 100 kilometers. So as you go away from the center, now this zone 50 to 100 kilometer, this zone has 35 centimeter rainfall. So this is what is the trajectory, as you say. So as you go away from the central point of the cyclone, the eye of the cyclone, rainfall decreases, as we know. So this has 85 centimeter, this has 35 centimeter. So precipitation of about 50 centimeter day is quite common, and this phenomena is causing the flash flood. It means more amount of rainfall in less time. So this is what is bringing the flood situation, and many urban floods, especially in Chennai, in Hyderabad, these floods are resultant of this kind of cyclonic storm surge that we understand. So this is what we need to remember, its hazardous characteristic. Now the next important component is its strong wind characteristic. So remember what happened in Kolkata also, what happened in Chennai or Hyderabad also. It is accompanied by strong wind system. So that is important, high wind speed. So strong wind speed associated with the cyclonic storm that we know. So winds of a severe cyclonic storm, that is about 90 to 120 km per hour, can cause uprooting of trees, damage to houses, disruption of communications, that we know, right? That's why the entire mechanism is such strong that our administration and executive bodies have lots of trouble while managing this kind of situation. So that's important. The wind associated with a very severe cyclonic storm and super cyclone that we say, remember the Odisha cyclone, that is, it can uproot the entire big trees and cause widespread damages. So that is why it is called super cyclone. So in the past 100 years, this 260 km per hour in October 1999, that is the severest of super cyclone storm that we saw in Paradeep super cyclone of Odisha. That is the best example. So how strong the wind can be. That is what one another factor is to this hazardous nature. The next portion is the storm surge that we were talking about. So storm surge occurs in places where tropical cyclone crosses the coast, that is, it makes a landfall. So remember, when it is on ocean, this intensification happens, and when it reaches the land portion, landfall happens. So that is where we say that storm surge is happening towards the land, right? So severest destructive feature of a tropical storm is storm surge, popularly called tidal waves. So huge waves creation on this coastal area. This leads to flooding that we know. So coastal areas are subjected to storm surge and is accentuated, increased if the landfall time coincides with that of high tides. So remember what happens. This area is actually the depression area, the cyclonic area. It is moving towards land, And if at the same time the naturally happening, remember tidal action is also happening, so it is like double force, so it is more flooding, in that way it is more surging, right? That's important. So storm surge as high as 50 to 20 feet may occur when all factors contributing to storm surge are maximum. So remember, rise of about 20 feet of the sea level, right? So the fertility of land across these coastal belt is lost due to inundation by saline water for few years or years to come. That is also an important impact of this. Now let's understand how these names are kept. So naming of cyclones is one of the very interesting topics in cyclone. So let's understand in detail. So this question was also asked for Civil Services Mains exam in 2013, that the recent cyclone on east coast of India, which was called Felin, how the tropical cyclones named across the world elaborate. So let's understand the naming of cyclones. World Meteorological Organization, that is the world's apex organization in terms of climate, if you see, so divided the world oceans into different basins and assigned responsibility of naming of cyclone to the respective regional bodies, which is adjoining countries of each ocean basin. So each regional body has its own rules in naming the cyclone. So the rule which is there in Indian Ocean will not be applicable in Atlantic. So that is what we say, each regional body has unique system of giving names to these cyclones. So in most regions, predetermined alphabetic lists are there of alternating male and female names that are used. So in Northwest Pacific, remember this Northwest Pacific region, so majority of names are used which are not personal names. While there are few female or male names, majority are names of flowers, animals, birds, trees, floods, food, and descriptive adjectives. So several types of names can be found in different regional bodies that we know. So now the question is how these cyclones are named in Northern Indian Ocean region. So what happens in the Indian Ocean context? The names of cyclone in Indian seas are not allocated in alphabetical order. This is the first point to remember. It's not alphabetical. Then what it is? But they are arranged by the name of the country which contributed the name. So we have several countries which contributes to the name, and accordingly it is set that if this next one is coming, this country's turn, so they will provide the name. So it is country wise. Right? So it is usual practice for a storm to be named when it reaches tropical storm strength of about this wind speed, that is 34 knots. So remember, all the tropical cyclones that happen are not named. They're only named when they have this particular speed. This is the threshold value. Remember that if they don't have 34 knots wind speed, their names will not be kept. So it has to have that at least that much of wind strength. So the knot basically is what? Is a unit of speed equal to 1 nautical mile, that is 1.852 kilometer per hour. That is approximately 1.151 miles per hour. So if this speed is there in the tropical cyclone, only then it will have this thing that it can be named. That is important here. Now, the Indian Meteorological Department, the IMD as we know, which issues cyclone advisors to 8 countries. Remember, this region has 8 countries: Bangladesh, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Thailand. So these 8 countries, remember, these are the country names that you need to remember here. These 8 nations. So these 8 nations do what? They give names, their respective names. So India contributes to name, Bangladesh gives name, Pakistan gives name, Myanmar gives name. All these 8 countries give their individual names for the next cyclones that will come in the line. So this name list is prepared, right? So every time a cyclone occurs, a name is picked in the order of the names that are already submitted. So it is about the order of the names in which they are submitted. Country wise they have a turn. So each country gets a chance to name a cyclone. That is the important point here. So now look at this particular list. What you see now, not 8 but almost what you see here is 13 countries in this particular region have given names here. So these 13 nations have given how many names? 13 names each. Right? So Bangladesh, India, Iran, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, UAE and Yemen. So these 13 countries have given 13 names for the next upcoming cyclones. Right? So how many names become? 169 names are there. So that is important. And remember the last cyclone, Nisarga, then we have Gati, and then we have this list. So now when this list will be completed, now it will start from here again. So this is how this is being followed one by one. And who does this? The list is adopted by World Meteorological Department, which is provided by IMD. IMD is a regional body and it is the larger body WMO. So this is what happens. So after Amphan, this Nisarga happened. So the next Nisarga was given the name by Bangladesh. So this is how the names are kept of the cyclones that we need to understand. And now these names are not the names of any flower or anything like that. Remember, these names are dependent upon the individual country and their scientific body on what grounds they are going to keep the name. So many people keep the name on the scientist's name. Many people keep the names on certain scriptures in the traditional form which have been mentioned. For example, if you look into this Gati, this is about wind speed, and Gati is a Sanskrit word for wind speed. So similarly, various names are given. So if you look into these Indian names, you'll have certain names like Gati, Tej, Murasu, Aag, Vyom, Jhar, Prabaho, Neer, Prabhanjan. All these names are related to somewhat the synonyms of wind or some kind of weather associated phenomena. So that is interesting here. Now let's look into one more factor that is important. That what is the annual frequency of cyclone over Indian seas? Now remember, there is a ratio which is 4:1. It means Bay of Bengal has 4 while Arabian Sea has only 1, because this Bay area is having more impact of this wind circulating and Coriolis force impact, whirling action, heating effect. So all these factors are there. So what happens here? There is more cyclone in the West Bengal section, the Bay area, right? So on an average, annual frequency of tropical cyclones in the North Indian Ocean, that is Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, is about 5 to 6% of the global. That is important. And about 80 cyclones form around the globe in 1 year. So remember, 80 in global area, it means 5 to 6% of 80. So that is how much what you see in this particular region, that is Indian seas. And at last, what we need to learn in this is the 4-stage warning system of these tropical cyclones. That is provided by IMD. So what happens here? Look here. IMD and Cyclone Disaster Management, that is in 1999. Remember, the super cyclone came. From then, this development happened. So remember, super cyclone Odisha led to this kind of development, that is 4-stage warning system development. And what are these 4 stages? Remember, stage 1, 2, 3 and 4. First is pre-cyclone watch, and this is what it is being monitored. So issued when depression forms over a West Bengal, and depression basically means it is a seed. So when it is in the seed stage, if it is certain depression being formed, so it is warned in the first stage, that is in the pre-stage. Then cyclonic alert, when 48 hours is there in terms of commencement of bad weather and the cyclone formation is about 500 away from the coast. So when it is 500, then this distance, cyclone alert is issued. Then cyclone warning is issued just 24 hours, and when this is 500 kilometers away, so distance is 500 but timing is 24 hours, right? Then post landfall outlook is when 12 hours before the cyclone landfall. So almost when it is like this distance, closer distance, about 200 kilometers away, which is like almost going to fall on the land in 12 hours, then you have post landfall outlook, that look what is the vulnerable area, what is happening. So these are the 4 stages of warning system developed by IMD, that is under Cyclone Disaster Management.
So now, when we have understood the details of the cyclone, its nature and its various methods of nomenclature, in the sessions to come, we are going to learn about the extratropical cyclone. So stay tuned, stay safe, keep watching.